Your business data is key. Your data ecosystem exists of multiple solutions for data storage, analytics, and machine learning. Does your data span a mix of AWS native services, AWS partner solutions, your on-premise infrastructure, or even other cloud providers? That's what we're here to discuss today. How, regardless of your starting point, you can continue to add value and drive outcomes from your data assets. Hi, my name is Alison Quinn. I'm a specialist solution architect here at AWS in analytics. Every week, I talk to customers about their challenges delivering on data strategies and driving outcomes for their businesses. Today, I'm here to share some of those stories. In this session, we'll discuss different data platform architectures with hybrid environments. And what I mean by hybrid environment is that blend. The blend of AWS native services, our partner software solutions, or ISV partners, as we may sometimes hear them referred to, and potentially on-premise, or even data in another cloud. We'll look to address some of the key challenges on how we can enhance value creation through governance, cost management, and speed in your data delivery. Speed delivering outcomes, or the ask of our data. What are the top needs I hear from organizations regarding data? I've listed some of the challenges our customers face when delivering on their customer needs. In an ecosystem with multiple partners, the answer to these challenges is not always straightforward. How do customers continue to accelerate, modernize, and transform when you don't have an ingestion pattern that fits into the current landscape? What if data is required faster or comes in a different format to what you've currently allowed for? How do we ensure security and compliance across what has effectively become a multiple vendor environment? How do you ensure you're making the right decisions that allow you to innovate faster while still gaining meaningful insights at speed? One particularly hot topic with customers at the moment, reducing costs. This can be operating costs through perhaps automation and managed services, or execution costs like software licensing, storage, etc. Well, how is all of this possible in such a hybrid environment? Is it even possible? When thinking about all things data, we need to ensure we're not only considering the needs of today, but the needs of tomorrow as well. At AWS, we refer to these as two-way door decisions. Two-way door decisions ensure we're not entering into a one-way door. A one-way door is one that prevents us from or makes it extremely costly to alter our course in the future. Today we'll talk about how you can enhance and add value to your existing data landscapes whilst keeping your customer needs in mind and ensuring you're making those two-way door decisions. At AWS, we think of the data lifecycle across 4 dimensions. 1, store and query. 2, integrate. 3, acting on data. And finally, the overarching 4, cataloging and governance. Let's start by reviewing these components. How do you store your data? Which services do you integrate with here? And what are you utilising to engage in acting on your insights? Governance for these data assets, or data products, as you may call them. Now, this is a challenge I rarely see implemented from day one. Perhaps the footprint of your data ecosystem has grown through an acquisition. Perhaps you're adding new data sources to deliver on an outcome or a different type or structure of data. Perhaps you're seeing new requirements that require actions based on data already within your ecosystem. Perhaps you have a new request for an application integration or delivery to a different device. What's your starting point? I've intentionally not added products or services to this picture because we'll get to some examples, the challenges that they address, and how we can think big on this. While the framing you've just seen is simple and widely accepted in the industry, the reality for organisations is far more complex. Many of our customers, as part of their data ecosystem, have a mix of partner solutions and AWS native services spanning storage, integration, ask, and governance. AWS has so many great partners in the data and analytics space. Each have strengths in different areas and some across many parts of our data landscape. Some partners I see working with our customers being used for data integration and ingestion are Matillion, Informatica or Qlik. Popular governance partners I see such as Elation and Collabra and, well, Informatica again. Customers using partners such as ThoughtSpot or Tableau for the consumption or the ask of the data, and, well, the list goes on. This slide shows just a few more of the ones that I've mentioned, but by no means is this list incomplete. You can always check the AWS Marketplace if you'd like to search for more. So, when we consider all possible use cases for data within our organisations, unfortunately, there is no magical wand. When you find a single product that offers best practice wall to wall across your entire data landscape, please get in touch with me because I would love to hear about it. The truth is, many of our partners specialise in particular parts of your architecture. Just as at AWS, we have purpose-built data services depending on your use case. So think of this as many different magical wands rather than just one. Consider how you can get these to integrate and work seamlessly together so that you can reach your desired outcomes. I'm going to talk about how you can continue to deliver on your customer needs, expand and implement on your end-to-end data strategy, regardless of where you're starting from. I'm going to talk about integrations, value adds, and uplifting capability for delivery. I'll show you some real customer examples that showcase AWS services and how you can continue to add value to your ecosystem. I'm going to talk to you about ingestion, storage, governance, and consuming or acting on your data. Let's start by talking about data sourcing or data ingestion. So, you have a challenge sourcing new data. Introducing Amazon Appflow. Amazon Appflow is a fully managed integration service. You can transfer data at scale and automatically catalogue your data without the need to provision system resources. Ultimately, this allows you to gain meaningful insights faster, connect to applications, services, and processes to automate workflows and innovate faster. As of today, Amazon Appflow supports over 60 applications, and some of my favourites when it comes to, say, other cloud providers include Microsoft Dynamics 365, Microsoft SharePoint, and even Google Analytics. Common SaaS applications like Salesforce and ServiceNow, along with the ability to extract from either your on-premise or cloud-based SAP environment. All these are popular choices amongst our customers. With Appflow, you can integrate directly to other partners such as Snowflake or our native AWS services, S3 and Redshift. For some select sources, you can automate a bi-directional data flow, and this includes Salesforce and SAP, for instance. This architecture shows a customer I've worked with. The customer had an existing data integration with Qlik Replicate. It loaded data into their Snowflake environment via S3. In order to deliver on business requirements, they needed some additional data from another source, their Salesforce environment. They wanted to enrich their customer data for their BI use cases. They also had a desire to experiment with AI/ML and were keen to have that enriched customer data for this purpose also. Their Qlik Replicate instance unfortunately wasn't an immediate option due to their licensing restrictions. So while they negotiated future state for data ingestion tooling, they wanted to keep moving on delivery. Appflow was implemented into production within weeks. The new additional data assets were available, innovation and delivery could continue. With Appflow, there was no barrier to entry, no software to install, no licensing to agree on, and no upfront costs. The lack of barrier is what enabled the outcome and delivery to continue. Now, let's talk about streaming data use cases. This is also an area where perhaps a traditional integration partner may not have an optimal solution. The trend I'm seeing with my customers is a requirement for faster data or access to the insight faster and sooner. Remember the days when data was updated as at the close of business the previous day? Do you remember when that was sufficient? In a fast-moving world, we need fast-moving data driving fast decisions. And sometimes this is via an application integration, sometimes this is in a BI report. But both use cases, streaming is becoming part of our customer architectures. With AWS, we have the Kinesis family, Kinesis Data Streams, Firehose, and Kinesis Data Analytics. We also have MSK, our managed streaming for Apache Kafka service. When thinking of partners in this area, the first one that jumps to mind for me is Confluent Kafka. I often get asked, which one should I use? Which AWS native streaming service? Customers who have a preference for open source may choose our managed streaming for Apache Kafka, or MSK. Whilst those comfortable in a more cloud-native environment may choose the Kinesis family. Regardless of the choice, these services can open some great doors for real-time use cases. I recently heard about this great customer reference for Redshift data sharing, but what also stood out to me was the integration that you can see here with our partner streaming product. Our customer Orion provides real-time data as a service solutions for customers in the financial services industry, such as wealth management, asset management, and investment management providers. They have over 2,500 streaming data sources that are primarily SQL Server databases, sitting both on-premise and in AWS. In this example, data is streamed using their Kafka environment, and sync connectors are used for direct integration to Redshift and other AWS services. I love this example. Of course, when I see this, I also think of the Kinesis data streams integration with Kafka and the possibilities this is bringing our customers, especially with the new functionality around streaming ingestion for Amazon Redshift. But regardless, this is a great example of streaming data integrating with partner products. Now, let's briefly touch on data storage. There are many ways to store data in an AWS ecosystem, but when we make reference to a modern data architecture on AWS, S3, our data lake, is a key foundational component. Amazon S3 allows you to almost infinitely scale storage resources, and this can help you meet fluctuating needs with that 11 nines of data durability, whilst you can ensure it's secure from unauthorized access with encryption features and access management tools. What I love about S3 being a foundational component of our platform is the two-way door it enables for many of our customers. By loading data via an S3 data lake, customers can not only pass data to many different services and integrations, but it also assists in migrating data from one partner product to another, or from an AWS service to a partner, or vice versa. And of course, we can't move on from talking about S3 for data storage until we also touch on the cost benefits of S3, one of those important customer needs. With cost-effective storage classes and easy-to-use management features, you can optimize costs and organize data efficiently. Different cost optimizations depending on the frequency and speed that you want to access your data. But these storage classes aren't the only way to save money using S3. I also see customers loading their data via a data lake to ensure they're enabling business use cases of tomorrow. Perhaps not all of the data they load is required today in their data warehouse, so the rest can be stored in S3, ready for when they need it. I also see customers using S3 to offload data from other services or partner products to assist in optimizing their overall storage costs. And remember, this can be kind of any data, not just structured data. Now we're going to move to my favorite topic for today: integration, governance, and cataloging. Centralized cataloging and integrations are key. They're key to enabling the ability to search across multiple data sets. We have partner solutions that offer business-facing catalog integrations, such as Calibra and Elation. And for those of you who heard our reInvent announcement late last year, AWS has their new offering, Amazon Data Zone. But today I'm going to talk to you about the Glue Data Catalog, a serverless technical catalog integration. The AWS Glue Data Catalog, a key integration component. The AWS Glue Data Catalog is an index to the location, schema, and runtime metrics of your data. Effectively, it's the data about your data. It's a technical metadata catalog where each table specifies a single data store. Typically, you can run a crawler to take inventory of the data in your data stores, but there are other ways to add metadata tables into your data catalog too. You have Snowflake, and you want to catalog your Snowflake environment and your data lake in one place. Here we can see an example of data catalogued from a Snowflake cloud data warehouse. This is a great example of a partner integration. AWS Glue crawlers support Snowflake tables, views, and materialized views, which means you have more options to integrate your Snowflake database into your AWS Glue Data Catalog. You can use AWS Glue crawlers to discover the Snowflake datasets, extract that schema information, and populate the data catalog. Ultimately, you can have different components of your landscape, such as Snowflake, your data lake, and other databases, all catalogued in one central location. Of course, there are further integrations from a business catalog perspective that can also be explored. This architecture is showcasing what we've just talked about. We have a Snowflake environment that can seamlessly load and unload data from your Amazon S3 data lake. The Glue Data Catalog crawlers that can run and catalog the data within Snowflake, as well as that data within your data lake ecosystem. In this example, all of your data assets will be visible in the Glue Data Catalog. Now, let's add to that governance story and what we've already talked about. Glue Data Catalog. Now let's talk about data quality. Wouldn't it be great if you could avoid bad data from entering your data lake or your data warehouse environment? This would assist you in accelerating your data transformation initiatives and gaining not just meaningful, but quality insights faster and, in response to those market events. Setting up data quality can be a time-consuming, tedious process. So perhaps also consider the potential operational cost savings in reducing this manual data quality efforts from days to hours. AWS Glue Data Quality uses DQ, an open source framework built by Amazon used to manage petabyte scale datasets. Because it's built using open source, AWS Glue Data Quality provides flexibility and portability without lock-in. AWS Glue Data Quality automatically computes statistics, recommends quality rules, monitors, and alerts you when it detects that quality has deteriorated. Therefore, you can identify missing, stale, or bad data before it impacts your business or before it enters other parts of your data landscape. AWS Glue Data Quality automatically computes statistics for your datasets. It uses these statistics to recommend a set of quality rules that check for freshness, accuracy and integrity. You can adjust these recommended rules, discard rules, add new rules, all as needed. If it detects quality issues, AWS Glue Data Quality can also alert you so that you can act on it, and that's with its CloudWatch integration. In scenarios where you have multiple data quality run results against a dataset over a period of time, you might want to track the trends of the dataset's quality, as you can see here on the screen. To achieve this, we can export our AWS data quality run results to S3 and use Amazon Athena to run analytical queries against the exported run data. The results can then be further used in Amazon QuickSight to build dashboards, gaining a graphical representation of your data quality trends. Here's an architectural example of enhancing data governance in a hybrid data landscape. This example shows our partner, Databricks, and it's part of this ecosystem. Data is landing in an S3 bucket, and it is catalogued in Glue, and data quality rules are run against this data. This is helping to ensure the quality of the data being processed and managed before it gets to the Databricks environment. Once in Databricks, the data is stored in Delta Lake format in S3 buckets. This data can also be catalogued in Glue. The additional integration component we see here on the right-hand side of your screen is once the data from your Delta Lake is catalogued in Glue, then it can easily be consumed by AWS native services directly, as they support this format too. This means you can consume these data sources directly using Amazon Athena or Redshift via Spectrum. I work with customers who have a blend of AWS native services and Databricks from a partner perspective, and this integration is key to their success. Their ability to share outputs from Databricks and other components of their architecture, such as their data warehouse, Redshift. Finally, acting on data outcomes. Amazon Athena is a serverless interactive analytics service built on open source frameworks, supporting open table and file formats. Athena provides a simplified, flexible way to analyze petabytes of data where it lives. Analyze data or build applications from an Amazon Simple Storage Service, S3, data lake, and 25 plus data sources, including on-premise data sources or other cloud systems using SQL or Python. Athena is built on open source Trino and Presto engines and Apache Spark frameworks, with no provisioning or configuration effort required. Federated Query is an Amazon Athena feature that enables users to execute SQL queries across data stored in relational, non-relational, object, and custom data sources. With Athena Federated Query, customers can submit a single SQL query and analyze data from multiple sources running on-prem or hosted in another cloud. In this slide, we can see the examples of partner integrations, Teradata, Snowflake, and SAP, as well as another cloud. I've seen customers utilising this functionality to store resulting queries in their Amazon S3 data lake for further insights and analysis, or simply for immediate insights from that source through a single, simple SQL query. This example shows that within a hybrid landscape, you are still able to enable connected applications, services, and processes. Amazon QuickSight is a cloud-native, serverless business intelligence with native ML integrations and usage-based pricing, allowing insights for all users. Amazon QuickSight has a serverless architecture that automatically scales to hundreds of thousands of users without the need to set up, configure, or manage your own servers. This ensures that your users don't have to deal with those slow dashboards during peak hours or when multiple business intelligence users are accessing the same dashboard or the same dataset. With pay per session pricing, you pay only for when your users access the dashboards or reports, which makes it cost effective for deployments with many users. With QuickSight, all users can meet varying different analytical needs through modern interactive dashboards, paginated reports, embedded analytics, and even natural language queries. Amazon QuickSight can connect to many parts of your data ecosystem, native and partner, including, as an example, Databricks. This connectivity allows customers to connect to their Databricks Lakehouse SQL version natively. What we see here is our customer Capital One, who uses the connectivity to Snowflake. The COE at Capital One manages a mature BI landscape with multiple BI platforms serving thousands of users. Existing platforms had locked in and expensive contracts. So now QuickSight is serving 10 plus line of businesses with 9,000 plus users and growing. Capital One utilises QuickSight to manage costs with proactive alerts, intelligent recommendations, and warehouse performance dashboards over their Snowflake environment. The challenge of the transparency of cost management was met with the outcome of QuickSight for quick, easy insights. This has helped to accelerate adoption, scale cloud data, and see business impact faster with intuitive self-service portal. As an example of a tangible outcome, includes 43% decrease in cost per query through reducing inefficient query patterns and data model improvements. Today, hundreds of customers worldwide are running with Snowflake and QuickSight. In this short amount of time, we've touched lightly on each component of the data lifecycle and talked about partner integrations and value add with AWS native services and partners across each area. We've been able to relate each back to the customer challenges that we face, such as innovating faster, gaining those meaningful insights, and our operational costs. Regardless of your starting point, you can continue to evolve, integrate, and deliver on use cases. Remember, there is no magical wand. Focus on the business outcome. Ensure you have appropriate governance in place and evolve your existing data ecosystem by adding purpose-built tools that are fit for purpose. Build out your foundations and continue to build. I want to leave you with one of my favourite quotes at the moment from our very own Senior VP here at AWS, Matt Garman. Customers are transitioning from the power of the cloud to the power of data. I hope today's session has given you some more insight into how you can continue to strengthen your data power. Join the millions learning with AWS training and certification and accelerating their impact. In the classroom or online at your own pace, learn what you want, when you want, and how you need it. To learn more, visit skillbuilder.aws. Thank you for taking time out to join me today. If you're thinking about your data architecture and you have questions, feel free to reach out to me or your AWS account team.